Good morning, everyone. Sorry I ran a little late. Okay, Andy says she can't wait, and that was at 8:19 this morning. No, yesterday morning. Dawn at noon said, "See you tomorrow morning on the third like, just so I don't forget." And Andy says, "Good morning," and Dawn says, at Andy, "Good morning." Dawn says, "I am making my rounds with the headset on." Oh, I'm so glad to see everybody. It's cloudy today, even though you can't tell it looking out that window. But at about the half hour mark, we're going to start talking on the two topics. So, how are you and Dawn doing, Andy? Andy's doing good. That's great. Echo, first light on.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, it's kind of going to be a crazy day. I got chicks in the incubator. They started hatching about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And there's Christina, Gidro's Urban Homestead. Good morning. We're at Lane's baseball game this morning. So we'll be in chat too. We'll be in to chat later. Wanted to say hi though. Good morning, Christina. I know Lane's going to be doing great in his baseball game. Andy says, "Woohoo to chicks." Yeah, they're from my own eggs. I think I got a better hatch rate than I thought I'd get. I didn't think I'd get much of anything. But I know before I went to bed at about 3 o'clock this morning, there was about, I can't remember if it was 3 or 5 in there. I actually watching one getting rid of a shell. His head was up, and his butt half was still stuck in the shell. Lane is a success at everything he does. Well, what's hatching right now is my jumbo whites. And I had some eggs given to me by a customer that I got started on quails, and she hasn't been having much hatch rate. I'm going to have to see how she's. I don't think she has enough males to them, but they were old eggs that she gave me anyhow. So if I get one or two jumbo wilds, I'll be surprised. Because this is out of the little incubator. Tuesday, the big incubator goes into lockdown. Yeah, the big incubator is going to be a surprise because I'm not sure exactly what I got. I know, I'm on the computer, so you got to get your nose in, huh? I need to angle this a little bit. There we go. Come on. Yes, it's okay. Lucy's got to say good morning. You set some eggs yesterday. Dawn and I are hatching buddies. Yeah, I thought I seen that. I think there's a world war going out in my koi containers. Lucy, I can't focus when I have to pet you so much. I think because I got a lot of male kuis that they're doing some fighting. Is that what you wanted? And he says, we set them about the same time. Of course, I was one a few minutes late. LOL. You're a spoiled, rotten dog. You know that? Yeah. Well, my neighbor's been going off today, and I'll be getting out of the apartment for a few hours today. The Kui are doing great. I think the males are starting to fight because they're all males in the one. All the babies are humongous. I can show you their size difference in just a second. It's thundering outside right now. Sounds pretty though. Okay, just a second. See, this is how much a week difference made. Right on that side. And you have 9 Kui babies, but you lost 2. I'm sorry to hear that. Come on. And that was off the small mama. That's just from 2 mamas, though. You have 9 Kui from 2 mamas? Wow, yours are really big breeders. 4 and 5 babies? Mm. That's a big brood. One had 6 and 5. Okay. I can see why you lost 2 now. Because it's too big of a brood for her. The ones that you lost, they were runts. John says, I am halfway done passing through. Wow, Andy has a lot of everything when she breeds. Andy says they're mother and daughter. Oh boy. Well, little mama will be no more when I start doing when I go on decalling again, which has to be soon. John says, I set eggs yesterday, like Andy told you. Then I had to turn around last night and call a 4-week, 2-day-old rooster. Oh, what happened? Andy said one that was DOA was kind of a big one. And then the other one was small and it passed 2 days after birth. Yeah, one probably that blocked, that was hard to give birth to. Was probably suffocated. Oh, the rooster was flat out vicious. Yep, get rid of those. Never saw one that young do that. Call them min males. Yep. At 4 weeks old, what was he trying? What did he do? Don't express this spot. That take him out, and then I'll get coffee and be here. Okay, Andy, I'll ask my questions when you get here. Call them mean males. Yep. John says he was attacking the other males, ripping feathers out all over and dragging them around. Everyone, not just one. Yeah, that's one you get rid of right away. Probably like my neighbor, schizophrenic. Oh. And he says, I got my brooder finished and babies are moved in. Well, I have to fix my brooder so I can put my babies in. That's what I'll be doing this evening. Gives a chance for more to hatch. Yeah, I need to get some things up. And he says, I'm kind of proud of myself. It turned out really nice. That's wonderful, Andy. I've been dreaming about the kind of cooey cage I'm going to be making. I don't know if I'm going to turn those Winola ranches upside down and add a floor on top of it. Or if I'm just going to make my own cages. That's what I'm still thinking about because I don't like the setup I have. There we go. There, now I'm ready for the half-hour mark. What I'm using now is I have, for my breeders, I have a quote rabbit cage that I don't like. It's kind of flimsy, and the babies can get out when they're just a few days old. Um, the other one's a ferret cage, and it's better built, but it's still not exactly what I want. Women of Spirit, Jan says, blessings, all you beautiful quail people. Blessings, Jan. And Andy tells Jan hello. Figs and quail, good morning. Can you use fireplace ashes for them to bathe in along with sand bath? I don't see any problem, mostly if you mix the ashes with the sand bath. With the sand. Gives them a little bit of best of both worlds. Just make sure those ashes are cold. What kind of figs do you grow? Figs and quail? I'm waiting for my fig tree to come, my figs to come back alive. Olympic figs? Cool. And he says, Verna, we need to talk sometime. We can talk about cages. Yes, we can talk about cages. Yes, it's ashes when wet, leeches lie. Old timers use that for soap making. What kind of figs do I have? I don't remember. They're not Chicago Hardy, which I should have had. And Figs and Quail says his fig bushes are still dormant too, so are mine. But I put a lot of cooey poop in it in the pot, and then I put some more soil on top of the cooey poo. Yeah, they do seem late this year. Well, they should be having leaves around by my birthday. Which is May 11th. Turkey brown figs or something like that. It could be, Andy. I don't remember. If you would have asked me last year, I would have been able to tell you, but I don't remember this year. I couldn't get any Chicago Hardy, so I got whatever was close to it. Yeah, I'm like that, Andy. I forget things that aren't really important. Figs are figs. I love them. It's like when you bite into a fresh fig, it's like taking a bite of heaven. It is so good. Yeah, but I think I'm a little older, Andy. And with all the brain damage that I had in 2010, that's reason enough to be that way. The things I don't forget about is quail and cooking. And see, Figs and Quail says, yes, we love figs here too. Figs and Quail, what state are you in? I'm in Southwest Ohio. Wade Brunson says, thinking the wood ash needs to be kept dry considering mixed with water makes lye. Yeah, I would believe that. I was thinking that if he's putting them in with a sand bath, he probably has it in a covered place if it's in a cage. Oh, you're in Eastern Washington. That's great. If you're in an aviary, then you could just put it in with the dirt. Vicky Kenton, good morning from California. My favorite fig is picked in the cool morning and enjoyed immediately. Cool and sweet. You got that right, Vicky. And Figs and Quails is 34 degrees this morning. Well, right now we're at 61. Andy said, I picked up a fig tree last week. It's a Violet du Bordeaux. Vicky says 46 degrees here in the Sacramento Valley. It's already 61 here. But partially cloudy or mostly cloudy by looking out the window. Eddie says she wants to get a regular brown fig still. Figs and Quail says Andy never heard of that variety of fig. Well, there is a fig store where I got this kind that I want, and what they said was I can't say the name like Katrina does, but it was a cut branch. Well, before when I bought them, I got them out of a pot. They were in a big pot, already had roots. Figs and Quail says we have turkey brown figs also. Andy said it's 64 and thunder here right now. You're in Indiana, right, Andy? Or are you in Missouri? Let me check something real quick here. Yeah, we're not supposed to get rain till tomorrow. Missouri, I never heard of it either. That's why I grabbed it. I've seen the name before at the fig place. Scions. I think it's called Scions. When you cut off a branch for grafting. Well, that's what they sent me. And it hasn't produced any figs yet. If it lives, it'll be 2 years old this year. Okay, Andy, in your opinion, what is the best rabbit cage to have? Or what do you use to make your own? It's a purple outside and red inside. Yeah, so's a Chicago. You build your own. What, quote, wire do you use? And what's the height? What would you say would be the minimum height for Havanas? 1x2 floor, 1x2 sides, 1 inch by 2 inch. Oh, that's the square feet or the wire? You do 2-foot wire? Because the wire I'm thinking about using is the 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch by 2 inch. So the wire opening is 1 inch by 2 inch. I would think that would be too big for them. I don't like my cages any deeper than 2 feet or I can't reach in and get them. I understand that, but I'm talking about the size wire. Wire opening is 1 inch by 2 inch. The flooring I use 1/2 inch by 1 inch holes. Okay. That's what I thought. Because if I turn the Winola Ranch, if I take the 2 of the cages and turn them upside down, I would have to put some 1 inch by 1/2 inch on the bottom so that their legs don't go through. The size you use 1 inch by 2 inch. John says, I'm here now. I had 1 sip of coffee on the way to the computer. Andy made a great brooder. And Andy says, thanks, Don. What I'm going to use, I think, is I'm going to use, if I turn the Winola, 2 of the Winola Ranch cages, the bottom cages on each set. Because, you know, I got 2 3-tier sets. If I do that and I turn them upside down so that they're on the straight flooring, since that's 1 inch by 2 inch so that the quail can put their heads through, I'll have to put some 1 inch by 1/2 inch in it to keep it so that their legs don't go through. John, do you live far from Andy? John says, Andy, I hope your rain stays down there until tomorrow. I have to check the radar. We have to get the plastic off the porch today. Rain not supposed to be here until tomorrow. It's going to be here tomorrow too, Dawn. Yeah, but you have a different problem when they're cooey because the mama doesn't really take care of them and the cooey is just as active as the adults. Okay, you guys are 5 hours apart. So is it Dawn that's in Indiana? Or are you in Missouri, Dawn? I can't remember where everybody's at. I think for a Quail Con, I'm going to have the Kui babies are not getting out of the cages. Oh, you're in Southwest Illinois. Okay. I keep wanting to put everybody in Indiana where they're closer. I think Jan's in. Jan, are you in Indiana? Yeah, Southern Indiana. That's why I keep thinking everybody's in Indiana, Jan, is because of you. John says, no, Southwest Central Illinois. I need to drink more coffee, LOL. With a 1x2 wire. I was just putting that on the bottom, Andy. But I think I'll put a swath on the outside of the cage of the half-inch. Wade says, I'm in southeastern Indiana. Cool. That means you're not far from us, Wade, because I'm in southwest Ohio. Jan says, I'm an hour from Albion, Illinois. With a half-inch by 1 inch. Yeah, the Kui will stay in there, but I was only going to do the bottom that way. Jan says she's 15 minutes from Henderson, Kentucky. An hour from Albany, Illinois. Well, I'm 15 minutes from my shire. Just a minute, guys. I got a bunch of notifications on my phone, but I left my phone in the dining room. Garbage, 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 garbage. Rain. El Nino watch issued. Okay, wait a minute. Verna, have you looked into CNC cages? I don't know what CNC is. John says, oh boy, I see a lot of rain just west of me, but it's going north. It said no rain for at least 6 hours. Andy, I do not know what CNC cages are. Dawn says she's been to Henderson, Kentucky. I'm holding on, Andy. That's why I'm silent. I'm waiting for your response. Andy, don't you have my phone number? Yeah, probably. You're probably right, Dawn. She probably is getting me a link. But see, she can drop a link because she's a moderator. Yusuf Freezer. Hi, Verna and everybody watching. It's hatching day here. Hey, Freezer, we're hatching buddies because I got some quail that started hatching yesterday afternoon. They're quiet right now for some reason, but they kept me awake most of the night. No, not your phone number. Okay, you guys, I'm going to put my phone number in, and it's only going to be up here for a few minutes, and then I'll delete it. Huh, didn't put it in there. I was typing and didn't put it in there. Oh, Donnie has her number stored in my phone. You're keeping 15 of them, Yusuf. Wait a minute. This is Yusuf says, same. Mine started hatching yesterday afternoon. Yeah, so did mine, Yusuf. And he says, the link's too long to post, and I'm looking for a short one. Freezer says, I'm keeping 15 of these. What are you hatching, Freezer? Yusuf. Dawn, I have your number stored in my phone. Andy says, got it. Yusuf, grab my number real quick. Anybody wants to can grab my number real quick because I'm getting ready. I'm going to light this cigarette, and then I'm going to count to 5, and then I'll delete it. Yusuf says, looks like so far I have around 30, but I should get more today, all day and all night. I'm hatching Texas A&M and Jumbo Browns. Okay, Jumbo Wilds. All righty. What they call wilds. Ferals and Browns are all the same ones. Yusuf says they were from. It says looks like so far I have around 30, but I should get more today, all day and night. I'm hatching Texas A&Ms and Jumbo Browns. They were from J&M Poultry Farms. Oh, that's great, Yusuf. There we go. PJ says, good morning. Getting chores done, but listening. Good morning, PJ. Glad to have you. Andy says, I can't find a short one on Facebook. I'll Facebook. Just a minute. Let me give you something here. Andy, if you use this link, I think you can do short ones. Let me test it before I post it. Yeah, Andy, this link that I'm going to post, you'll be able to use it to make short ones. Somehow I put 119 eggs in the incubator. Well, the incubator can usually hold about 120 if it's the square dust type. Eddie, that link that I posted, you can make it into a short URL. Don says, wow, Andy, 119. I have a total about 29 of mine, but that's just from this covey. I think that's about what I got in one. I've got 45 in the big one. Oh, yeah, 120. LOL. 9 hour. Yeah, 120. LOL. What in the hell is that noise? Yeah, that black-headed white one is a pain in the butt, Andy. Yusuf says, I got 120 eggs, only 30 hatched so far. Well, you may get more. I got to repair my brooders that the Kui destroyed because they're so heavy. Okay, it's after the half-hour mark. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about. Good morning, Michelle. Michelle Colley says, incubating settle down eggs from my breeders. That is great. Dawn says she got the burrito working like it was supposed to with my humidity, but this is the first hatch in it, so I have no idea what I'll get. Dawn, I hope you have a Govee in the burrito. But everybody knows about Quail University. Even if you're experienced, you should actually still take these classes because it's really worth it. It gives you everything you need to know to start off on your quail journey, education wise, and it gives you some. You have some spreadsheets and everything you can use so you can figure out how often you have to incubate in order to do what you want with your eggs. I mean, with your quail. Yusuf says, I'm very busy these days working on preparing a few acres of veggie garden and preparing for my future seedling sale. That's great, Yusuf. Don says, nope, I had it set, but with the egg turner working, there is no way the egg turner dumped it out. LOL. Oh, wow, that is not good, Dawn. Michelle says, I hate to say it, bought the wood brooder, and in 2 years it collapsed from being outside in the Arizona sun. Yeah, Arizona sun is dangerous to anything wooden, I think. And you don't want to put animals in metal because it'll kill them. And he says pet playpen, small animal cage, portable, do it yourself metal wire yard fence for rabbits and guineas, pigs, bunnies, puppies, hamsters. I had a pet playpen, small, but it wasn't made out of metal, and they chewed a hole in it to escape. Michelle says, is the university lifetime once paid for? Yes, Michelle, it is. Once you pay for it, because anytime they add anything new to it, they'll send you an email and everything. Then she says, CNA home pet playpen, small animal supply, 12 panel exercise playpen cages, sea grid indoors, ideal for guinea pig, puppies, pet products. Do it yourself metal fence yard, 12 12 inch by 15 inch. That's great. I'm going to have to look those up after I publish this. Well, let me look at it real quick. I'll look at both of them real quick, you guys. Give me a moment here. Okay, that's one. I've seen that one. I've seen both of those, Andy. That that one will be great for me to go take outside and let them eat grass while I'm sitting there. They're not a dog playpen, really. Yeah, they're saying puppies, like young nursing puppies, probably. Michelle says, besides quail, guinea pigs, will you go into raising fish to eat? Michelle, I can't because I live in an apartment and I do not have the room because I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment and my bed is here in the front room. Andy says the second one would be better for babies, I think. Those would be great, Andy, but they're not up off the ground and stuff. And that's what I need to get them up off the ground into like a stacking cage setup. I'm trying to maximize the little bit of space I have. Yeah. Oh, off the ground. That's why I keep talking about Winola Ranch cages, about taking the bottom layer of each cage and flipping it and making it into a guinea pig cage. John says, Yusuf, what will you be baking? The quail? Okay, what did I miss? It'll bake him, not kill him. Yeah, like I said, Michelle, the Quail University is you pay the $49. I get a little referral fee. I took the classes myself, or I would not push it at all. And I love the Excel spreadsheet. I love the spreadsheets that you get with it. So you can figure out how much you need for either eggs or feeding your family meat and how often you want to feed them meat and how much meat you need. So it tells you how often you should incubate, etc. There's no way that this cheap apartment would be able to hold a tank big enough for me to to raise fish for food. I don't think it can hold the weight of my oak cabinet. It has trouble with it. But in September, I'll be having Havana rabbits that I'll be buying from Andy Rabbit. And Michelle says, better than watching Zach's old videos, which are low res now. Yes, Tipla or catfish are good to raise in a 55-gallon. Yeah, I don't think I could get a 55-gallon up here. See, I'm in an upstairs apartment. And so everything has to be carried. 50 pounds of feed bags, 50-pound bags of feed, and all that has to be carried up here. Did I see the KW cage link? No. I'm looking. I don't see a cage WK cage lake. And Little Ridge Farm. Hey, Mark. Howdy, howdy, howdy. You've been doing a good job cleaning up that fire area. Michelle says, time to get a first floor apartment. No, Michelle, what I need is I need a house with a backyard so that I can move my animals outside. RG Arizona Home says, good morning, Bay. Hello to all the chat today. I hope all are having a wonderful weekend. Now, RG has some good pond videos you guys should see. Andy says, I will get Quail University in a few weeks. Got 4 grands with birthdays in the next few weeks, LOL. Yeah, Andy, that is always fun. Yes, a house for Verna. Yeah, I need a house with at least a city yard where I can put my quail and my Furbies outside, because that way the only thing I have to have inside is my Lucy. Michelle says, agree with the backyard. My quail are on the patio. And he says, I just have a city lot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I had a city lot, could you see how crazy I would go? You know how crazy I am in my apartment. So imagine what I would do. Besides that, I believe in growing food, not lawns. Dawn's getting a kick out of me. And he says, I can feed myself for a long time. You know, I bought some beef recently. You know, I really am not fond of beef. I can eat it thin. And he says, I'm only buying food plants anymore. Yep, that's the only thing to buy. If there's any flowers on any property I have, it better be edible. Like daylilies, you can eat those flowers. And he says she likes a good steak once in a while. That's the problem, Andy. If it isn't from somebody that raised it themselves, it tastes like crap. Pardon my language. Michelle says, I sent the link 3 times to, did you see them? Oh, you're talking about on Facebook, Michelle? Let me check. I don't see any of them here in the chat. No, Michelle, I don't have anything from you. No, they didn't show up here. You have to be a moderator to share a link here. Here, I tell you what. Michelle, I'm going to make you a moderator for the moment. Just a second. Add as moderator. There you go, Michelle. Now you can put it into the room here. Let's see. It's a long time. She sent the link 3 times. Okay, Michelle, now you can put it into the chat room once you accept being a moderator. Vicky says, oh, nasturtiums, you can eat the leaves and the flowers. Yep. She says she can send to my Facebook. And he says, oh my, Dawn, you got a big yard. Okay, I didn't see what side. Oh, Dawn says she has half a block. Wow. Jan says, I live in the city, raise quail and rabbits, garden in as many areas as possible. I have just enough grass to mow so I can mulch garden and feed some to rabbits. The only thing is, you got to be careful that none of your neighbors use sprays on their lawns or cause you trouble. Okay, Michelle, I'm going to try your link. Okay, I'll save that link. But it looks pretty much like I would be making, except for I wouldn't have all that in there. Let's see. I'm going to save that too. I will have to put that with Lucy, because I don't have a file for guinea pig yet. All righty, there we go. Let's see. This is where all the people who show guinea pigs and rabbits buy from. Okay. Don says, Andy, I do, and it no longer doing anything. I used to have 300 bushes and trees for fruits, berries, and grapes. Now they are all gone. Oh, what happened to them, Don? And he says, when I built my 24 new rabbit cages last spring, I had my MFA feed store order the wire for me. I saved about $300 or more building myself, and I have them order it, and I ship saving also. I saved shipping also. Mark says, sorry, but I'm heading to town. Got some errands to run and catch up on. It's been so busy here cleaning up. Yeah, I know you've been doing a wonderful job on that, Mark. Eddie says, I'm sorry, Don. Jan says, neighbors don't spray anything. That is great. See, I can't put him in the front of the complex to take him out to feed him. I had to put him in the back of the complex because they spray chemicals at the senior centers on the grass. No, Michelle, I didn't know about that company at all. And he says, I have enough wire left over. I can build some of the carrier cages too. Dawn says, Verna, I can't walk to take care of the plants, bushes, and trees. Over time, they got disease, and he cut them down. Now the big yard is going by way of grass this year too. Oh, I am so sorry, Dawn. And he says, it was cheaper than for me to put floor wire on the top and bottom of the cages, and this way, if I need, I can flip the cages and have new floors. That's wonderful, Dawn. I mean, Andy, that was wonderful. Dawn says, I had wind drift the spray from across the street and over 1 yard, and it blew it in the air with strong wind and took out my tomatoes 1 year. I can understand that too. Michelle says, if I knew you back in the day, I would have given you my 4 stackers. She says, you can get more guinea pigs if you go to a show. Just don't tell them you eat them. They also have meat rabbits. I can't go to shows and stuff like that. Number one, transportation. Number two is I'm not fond of crowds. The only crowd that I enjoy is Quail Con, which was the other thing on my topic. If you haven't got your tickets yet for Quail Con, you should check this out and get them. And if you want to do the camping, you better get your camping permit, even if you can't do the tickets yet, because those go fast. They're very limited on the spaces. Michelle, okay. Andy says the rabbit hole looked so pretty and clean last year in June, but now it looks like rabbits live in it. Haha. Which rabbit hole? For me, a rabbit hole is like when you get down the rabbit hole, that's when you go on bonkers over everything. And he says, I got my ticket and campsite the other day. I looked and there was only 6 campsites left. I haven't looked at it recently. Let me take a look. Yeah, there's only 6 in stock right now. Let me see how many tickets are in stock still. Okay, there's no limit on the tickets yet. So still doing good on the tickets. And there's 282 left in stock of the quail dinner tickets. Oh, you call your rabbit shed the rabbit hole. I don't blame you. Just like that used to be the quail room, but now it's the animal room. And the only thing I got left to do on the cookbook is the table of contents, everybody. So look for that in the next week. And he says, I will buy my dinner ticket after the grandkids' birthdays are over. Hopefully, there are still some available. If I do everything right, I'll have some cooey that I'll be offering up at Quail Con during Quail Dinner. but there won't be very much of those. Yes, Andy, I was told that to let them know, and they'll have and they'll make some room on the grill for some cuy. Let them know how many I'm bringing, how much room I need. Vicky says, "Are you letting people sample cuy? I'm interested. I'd be happy to buy one to try." Yep. Now, when I get to plans to that, I will tell you how many I have limited because I cut them into 4 pieces when I do it. So I would tell you how many I have limited pieces, and then you guys can talk to me at the table about it. Or I might bring a little grill and put it behind my table and cook it. You know me, I'm a little crazy. I'm liable to do anything. That's why when I talk to people that come over and I talk to them, and they tell me, that they're very um, leery to try new foods. And I sit there and I smile. I says, "Well, I'll tell you what, you'll go hungry before I do because I'm not afraid to try anything new unless it's alive and moving on the plate. And PJ says, "Yay, on the cookbook." Yeah, it's everything pickled. And then the next one is going to be on grilled and smoked. Nikki says she's definitely interested in trying it. Andy says, "I'm trying to think up a good kill station for the cuy." Do it the same. Well, you have to have a table because you can't hang them to kill to skin like you do rabbit. You have to do it from the table. Vicky says, "I'm bringing a 2-quart crock pot so I can stay on my carnivore diet. I'm down 50 pounds and never felt better." And Andy says, "That's awesome, Vicky." Yeah, see, my problem with thinking about the carnivore diet, most people do beef, and I'm not a beef fan. So I would have to do the everything but beef. Nikki Jean says, "That's great, Vicky." And hello, Nikki. Yeah, Nikki, I should start taking a thing on Quail Con. I already got a notebook for it. This was Quail Con 2022. That's garbage. Yeah, that's what I was doing, everybody's. Okay. There we go. Ideas for Quail Con. Okay, who wants cuy to eat? To taste, rather. Let me see. Okay, Vicky Catton. Uh, Nikki James. Michelle, she's on the carnivore diet. That's where they're not allowed to eat anything but meat. Andy Rabbit, Michelle Colley. So those 4 days, that's one cooey. Oh, bologna and hot dogs. Oh, yuck. Mine would be quail, cooey, and pork, mostly. Michelle says, I'm doing laundry now too. And Annie says, my hubby just started laundry. Carnivore is beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, plus any other meat you enjoy. Lion diet is strictly beef, lamb, salt, and water. Christina, good morning. I mean, Katrina, rather. Blah, 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 too many Ks. Katrina, good morning. She says, good morning, everyone. Verna and everyone. From Gilroy, California. Sorry I haven't been around lately. Things have been super busy here. Listening only today while I make breakfast and set up for quail processing. Katrina, it is good to see you. I missed you. And everybody's telling Katrina hi. Katrina, I've been getting names of people that want to try cooey at Quail Con. We got 7 people here and 12 likes. Katrina, okay. So that's the beginning of one other cooey. Because I figure each cooey has 4 pieces. So everybody just getting a taste of it. So we talked about my 2 topics, Quail University and Quail Con. And he says, has anyone watched Whiskey Tango Farms video this morning? It was pretty good. I watched it right before Verna came on. I didn't see it. Guys, I'll be right back. I have to get some more coffee. My cup is empty. And it took me over an hour to empty my cup. Oh, okay, that was a 2-in-1 trip. Let's see. Got us to 30 minutes early just to get things done and catch the start of Verna. That's early enough for me to get up. Michelle says, pouring a K-cup now. Andy says he had a few other people doing videos answering the same questions. Vicky says, thanks, Andy. I'll check that out. We're headed out to yard sales, but you're in my ear. I finished Quail University last week and changed a couple of my practices. Good info. That is wonderful, and congratulations, Vicky. Katrina says, okay, one question before I get started on things. Verna, how did your hatches go? They started the little hatches started out yesterday afternoon, and they're still going. I won't know until I pull them out of the little incubator. And the other one's got, the big hatch has got another week to go. And Andy's passing out coffee. Nikki says, I have so many YouTube channels I watch, I have trouble keeping up, especially now with warmer weather. Yeah, mostly during planting season, right, Nikki? Andy says, Vicky, our town is doing the citywide yard sale this weekend. I'm staying home, LOL. And she agrees with Nikki. Aaron says, good morning, everyone. Lane had a baseball game early this morning. How did he do, Aaron? How did he do? Andy says, and with more daylight, I'm missing a lot of YouTube videos. Don says, Nikki, me too. There are only so many videos I can watch in a day. Did everybody's town? Aaron, good morning. And then Nikki says, yes, I've been busted in the garden. I've been busted in the garden. Aaron says, they won. We just beat the rain. I knew they would run. That's what I said. Vicky says, I just listen to most YouTube, watch very little. Well, I can only hear out of one ear. So if I just listen to it, I would miss it. But the ones besides Katrina's and my shires, the only two that I watch besides those two, really, and that's Hidden Heights Farm and Weed them and Reap. Their name is similar to how Katrina does hers. And he says next week's should start going to the swap meets. David Lister, late again. Yeah, but you made it in less when I have more than 30 minutes going, so you're doing fine. You only missed an hour and 25 minutes, David, but that's okay. We don't care. You can always rewatch if you want. Andy says, I play some YouTube videos as I'm driving a lot to catch up. PJ says, our first swap tomorrow. Our farmer's market don't open till May 1st. Don says, Vicky, I listen to them while I work. I don't get to lives very much. Aw, Don, you make me feel blessed. David says, I was out working on the new aviary for Shelly. That's cool. What size is it? Andy says, I don't have to watch when I'm driving, just listen. Nikki says, we're supposed to go to swap meet tomorrow, but hubby has to work. You can't go by yourself, Nikki? A Sunday swap? Andy asks. David says, 6 feet by 12 feet. I'm going to christen it at the Hotel California. That's a cute one, David. Nikki says, I would, but it's a couple of hours away and I have the bad tires on my vehicle. I can understand that, Nikki. David, what other animals do you have besides quail? We only have Saturday spots down this way. Dave says, we moved all of Shelby's pansies and ambers, 38 total. Well, that's not a lot. Yeah, I put the links in again in case anybody that watches afterwards may want, oh, this ain't going to show. I'll have to make sure it's in my introduction on the front. Aaron says, we have Saturday and Sunday swaps. We don't go to them often. Now, where did they go? Aaron, look what I'm going to try to plant. Lemongrass seeds. I have to have a warming tray for them. Andy says, I would do Sunday swaps. Aaron says, I love lemongrass. I know you guys got so much of it, and I don't have any. So I got to try this. Dave says, at this point, we just have them and the Dalmatians. Plant upgrades include meat rabbits, chickens, and red golden pheasants. Don't you need a permit for your pheasants? David, right now I do cuy and quail. And David, do you have your tickets to Quail Con yet? Okay, you made sure that you didn't need anything for your pheasants. That's great. Oh, okay. I'll handle you guys that. Text me a message. I'll handle that after live stream so that I can put you in my phone books. And Aaron, I'll give you what I gave earlier in Facebook Messenger. Oh well, I can do it just right now, real quick, because I remembered I did not make it so that since I read you guys' comments, I made it so that they don't have to read the comments; they only get to see the live stream. No, David, Zach did not have a live last week, not on Easter. And it's always best to text me before you call, so I can put you in my phone book, because I only answer phone numbers that I um, know. Andy says, I need to get some lemongrass. It dies out every winter for me. And so far, I haven't been able to keep it alive in the house over winter either. Well, they need a lot of sun. And I used to keep mine alive. And Aaron says, I'm the same way. I don't answer calls I don't know. So if you put me in your phone, Aaron, you'll know it's me when I call, and I'll know it's you when you or Christina call. That's good. Christina you can share my number with Christina too. Landre's Little Farm. Very late today. Had a busy morning. Hello, everybody. Hello, Landre. Good to see you. I know. It's my favorite cup. When I have to be stuck at the computer, it's the cup I use. Because it's from one of my favorite homesteads, Gedro's Urban Homestead. See, if you keep it in your quail room, if you keep it potted in your quail room, it should live. But if it doesn't go dormant, it'll still keep growing. I know your quail room's outside, but see me, I have a quail room inside. Dave says I probably have 50 jumbo whites and jumbo white wings in the McAllister Quail Trail shed, with 25 in the incubator. Well, I have some jumbo whites hatching right now. And yeah. And then I'll have some other jumbos. I won't know what they are until they hatch. David says, "Hi, I'm Dave. I'm a hatchaholic." If there isn't a hatchaholic in this live chat right now, I'll pass out right on the spot. I think there's hatchaholics in this. Yeah, when you have quail and coffee, yeah, you got to be a hatchaholic to join in. Everybody's agreeing with you. See, I told you, Dave. Everybody is a hatchaholic here. Andy, how's Verna's bunch growing? She named a litter of rabbits after me. Aaron says, I'm also a hatchaholic. Every single incubator is full right now. I also have 6 brooders going. Dave says, oh, yeah, I have 235 of Shelly's eggs on standby for the incubator. Andy says, they're doing good and growing. And how many was in that litter, Andy? Dave says 35, not 235. Oh, darn. Dave, we thought you got a big incubator. She had 9. Aaron says 120 square feet of brooders right now. 120 times 3, that's 306. No, times 6, that's 720 chicks you can put in there. 6 per square foot. Makes 720 chicks that you can brooding out at the same time. That's 6 per square foot. So how many chicks you got brooding? Dave says, anyone online here have rabbits in wire cages? I have cuy in wire cages. And Andy has rabbits in wire cages. Aaron says, yes, that's about right. I have 6 more trays of quail in my GQF. And how many does each tray hold, Aaron? 120? Aaron says, Verna, we don't count birds. No, I just count and find out how many babies you got. I don't care how many adults you have. Nikki says her rabbits are in wire cages. Aaron says, I have my rabbits in hanging wire cages. Katrina says the same thing. I get excited about babies, Aaron, no matter what animals they are. 124 eggs in each tray. Oh, that makes me excited. I haven't found what I do with my lighter. There it is. Michelle says, I just put on the tray cover in my Winola cages. Wish I would have gotten that earlier. The birds can't eat my quail feed anymore. Yep. Andy says, I just say I have 12 cages with litters of rabbits. How many of those cages hold Havanas? Andy. Dave says, I'm waiting to make rabbit cages and I'm looking for what size coated wire cloth to use. Well, Dave, I'm taking my Winola Ranch cage because I have 2 3-tiers and I'm turning them upside down. One tier and both of them upside down for my breeder sets. Aaron says, I'm brooding quail, turkeys, and white American breast chickens. Oh, wonderful, Aaron. You got everything going. Michelle says, wish I could raise rabbits. Why can't you, Michelle? I'm in an apartment and I'll be having rabbits come September. And he says, oh no, Katrina, get them baby rabbits in a nest box. Okay, what did I just miss? Oh, okay. Okay, just one litter of Havanas right now. How many Havana breeders do you have? Yandy? Michelle says, no room indoors for cages and they would die in the heat outside when it gets 115. Andy says, I'm just messing with Katrina. I realize that. That's why I didn't say anything when I looked up and looked. You're being silly. Nikki says, Dave, rabbits will eat the coating off of the wire. Yeah, you don't want that coated wire for the rabbits or cooey. Katrina finally caught on. Andy, silly. Andy says, right now I have 2 does and 3 bucks. Maybe getting another doe in a week or 2. No, righty, because I'll take the does from one litter and a buck from a different litter from a different doe. Because then what I'll do is I'll keep my favorite pair of cooey, and then the Havanas. Maybe I'll do it the way Brooke does it. Nah, I'll do it separate. I've got a lot of planning to do. But I got 6 cooey to call. Then the end of next month, I'll have 6 more to call. And he says, I have a cooey boy in with one of my buck rabbits. They are good friends. I hate to split them up. Yeah, they make, but when you put a doe in with your buck, does the cooey get upset? Don says, Andy, I didn't know they could live together like that. Pretty cool. Yeah, they're both herbivores. They eat about the same food. Don says, no, the cooey would make a cubit. Now that would be funny. And he says, they are cute together. The cooey will lay on the rabbit's back all the time. Are they both males? Andy, are they both males? Yes, they are. Okay. So there, Dawn, you don't get no cubits. Does has ever seen a cat rabbit? I've seen pictures years ago back in the late 80s. And I bet you it was photoshopped. I don't think they can actually breed. Probably better. You have a better chance of getting a cubit than you would a cabot. And he says, if I use a buck, I'll take him out of the cage and put in a temporary cage to breed. Okay. And he says, I'm not sure about breeding the cuy though. Well, put it with a cuy female and find out. Dave says, I have seen old pictures of jackalopes well before Photoshop was invented. Yeah, but Apple had graphic computers that can do things like that over 20 years ago. And he says, Cuy don't breed fast like rabbits. No, they take forever to breed. This was before computers, too. Well, maybe so, but I seen a little mermaid in Galveston that was that big, and it was just a skeleton on the hairs. And what it actually was is somebody did a taxidermy on it. It was not what you would think it was, not what it looked like it was. This is Kansas in the 80s. Yeah, they used to do a lot of stuff for those freak shows that wasn't actually real. Where there is an artistic ability, anything is possible. Wherever there is an imagination. And he says, I'm thinking about building a cage with a small door the rabbit can't get through, but the cuy can. I don't want to break them two up. And Michelle says, jackalope are sold here in all the gift shops in Arizona. Mm-hmm. How about the vampire antelopes? You mean the antelope with the long fangs? Yep. The vampire antelope. Now, those are real. Yep, Michelle, they are real. Yep. Matt and Jack Deere. Yep. You're right, PJ. So the jackalopes aren't real, but those deer are. Michelle says, one of my favorite deer. They used to be carnivorous in the prehistoric times. Andy says, I seen the jackalope so much in my life as a kid, I thought they were a thing. Nikki says, so did I. So I did, wait a minute. So I did something I haven't done before. I sent an email out to Rural King Corporate last night. Dave says, what? My dad said they were real. The jackalopes? And he says, my dad did too. Well, I seen the mermaid skeleton. It had from the waist up was looked human, and from the waist down looked like regular fish skeleton. And it was only about 6 to 8 inches long. Sundial's Fragrance is here. Hi, Verna. Hi, Sundial. Good to see you. John says, this stuff would give me nightmare dreams if it weren't talking about it in the morning. LOL. And he says, in the extended family restaurant, they still have the same one he pointed out to me and told me all about them. Nikki says, we went to a local store and they had Copernic quail babies. I was just so sad to see all those babies all huddled together under light, not warm enough, no water. That is, oh, I would have called on them. That is abuse. They'll probably be dead tonight. Then he said, oh boy, she was not a single baby was moving around. Michelle says, did you talk to them, Nikki? Dawn says, Nikki, did you ask to see the store manager? Not the department manager? I would have raised Cain. I would have been like, stink on a skunk. And he says, I was on Facebook yesterday a little and seen a few posts of quail in local feed stores. Yeah, TSC now is doing their not using brooders for their chicks. They use cardboard boxes with heat lamps. But at least they had water. She says, that's why you send email, Nikki. Michelle says, how much has the price gone up for quail chicks? LOL, because ours breed like rabbits. Nikki says, no, my hubby was getting me out of there. That's why I sent an email. Yeah, I would have went ballistic, Nikki. Your husband was probably smart getting you out of there because you would blow up. And, yeah. And he says, what were they asking for them? And I'd say shame on the seller for not making sure that they were taken care of. $5.99 for each chick? That it was highway robbery. They should have had food and water and heat closer to them. And he says some of the posts I seen was anywhere from $6.99 to $8.99. Michelle agrees with me. That's insane. See, I won't get rid of a chicken until it's at least 3 weeks old. Like you said, last year they had them at $7.99. Andy agrees with me, not before they're 3 weeks old. At least when they're 3 weeks old, they have a lot of their feathers. Nikki says she was infuriated. Yeah, I would have been too. Oh. Sounds like I have a quail singing. Yeah, it's in the quail room. And he says, I won't even think about it the first week, maybe week 2, if the other person knows how to keep them warm. Yeah, they better have hand warmers in a box with a towel over it for me to even consider letting them take them that young to transport them. Michelle says, I forgot when a female sings, they are laying or want to be bred. Pretty much, but this chirping, sometimes they just talk. And he says, I see a lot of people posting them at a day old. Those are only for feeders. When there's a lot of just the regular chirping, they're just talking to each other. They're content. When they sing out, they have a certain song they sing when they're laying. Nikki says, yes, I will sell to people if they are experienced during the first week. Otherwise, they have to be at least a week old. With me, they had to be at least 3 weeks old unless, yeah. Michelle says, what do you do with males that sound off at night? Wake me up at night, you go to freezer camp the next day. That's my rule of thumb. Of course, if I have feathered sexables at 3 weeks, since I'm inside, I only have to wait until they're 3.5 weeks. Then I just put them together in the breeding sets that I want. So the only males that'll be sounding off are the bachelors, and they go into freezer camp when they get old enough to wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Michelle says, I have one. He sounds off lately because it's been a bright moon. It's been a bright moon and he's calling hens to him. So if he isn't with some hens, he's going to stay noisy. If he's with hens and he's got like 5 hens, that means you need to add a couple more hens into the cage. Of course, sometimes birds will greet the sun. It will be calling up the sun too when the moon disappears. They be hollering for the sun to come up. Songbirds do the same thing. If they're in a bachelor pad and you want them to be quiet, cover them at night. And they won't be crowing then. Limit their light to like 10 hours a day and put a cover on it. Andy says, I'll be getting the Egyptian rooster on the 29th. Oh, that's going to be cool. Michelle says, no, they're mixed for spring. Okay. It's 66 degrees here already. Let me see what the Weather Channel says it is. $67 degrees. And it's supposed to get up to 79. Nikki says they have to come pick them up and have a sit down so I can explain care and show them how to care for them. For week-olds, I box them myself with hand warmers for transportation. That's very good, Nikki. Andy says it's 78 here already. PJ said 75 here. Yeah, but you guys are west of me in warmer areas. And it's mostly cloudy outside for me. And tomorrow's going to be rain day. Let me double check this again. Yeah, tomorrow's high is only going to be 65 because it's 91% chance of rain. Then Monday it's going to be windy and cold. And Landry says 74 here and about to pour down raining. And he says, I want enough rotation. I don't have to sail under 3 weeks old this year. I get to keep hatching. Well, if you're calling and filling up your freezer, that's what you do. Nikki says, temperature here is 68 when I got up. Now after storm blew in and through, it's down to 60. Yeah, PJ's in New York. It's unusually warm for this time of year. Yep, because usually you're still getting snow, aren't you, PJ? John says, hail, high winds, rain, and tornadoes for tonight. Then we get to be 47 degrees for the high tomorrow with rain. That's not good, Dawn. Andy says she's up to 69 there. Jay says, our daughter is bringing us a buck and a doe rabbit on the 6th. Chinchilla rabbits. Supposedly she is already bred. Cool. And PJ agreed, yes, they usually have snow about this time of year. Dawn says, I wish I wouldn't have looked at the weather, LOL. Well, everybody, it's afternoon. And that noise earlier was to let me know it's time to take Lucy out. So everybody have a blessed night. And I'll see you tomorrow night in my Shire's live stream. Sundial says, have a great weekend, Verna. You too, Sundial. Everybody says, have a good day and goodbye. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.